Have you ever been so impacted by something that it leaves no doubt as to what helped shape you? Welcome to The Blind Impact, a podcast where we talk about and uncover those moments. Some funny, some sad, but it's not always tragic. I hope you'll stay for a while. Hey, Farshawn, are you on?
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Farshawn, is there anything that you'd like for the audience to know about you? Some things you might have accomplished, a little bit of background about you?
Hey, my name is Trey Sean, and I am from Louisiana. I reside in Texas. I'm a HVAC by trade,
Okay.
and I learned a abundant amount of things from dur being a reservist in the military. Well, 10-year vet,
Oh, nice. Wow. What branch?
the Air Force.
Oh, Air Force. Oh, that's nice. I mean that's an experience.
Oh yeah, it. I've learned. I learned a valuable. Some of the most valuable things I've learned in the military is being able to work with other people, the teamwork
Hmm.
aspect.
Yeah, that's very important. And a lot of people they struggle with that. And it's just like if you can't get along with others and you can't master what it means to uh involve yourself in teamwork, it's like why join the military?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen are based off of built off of being able to work with others, and that doesn't mean that you're always going to get along.
Right.
Oftentimes, you meet somebody from a completely different background, possibly a different nationality, and nothing that you're nothing you can't let any of that get in the way of you accomplishing whatever the goal it is, because that one goal, also adds into the overall goal of everything that's going on.
Right. Yeah. Did you have any deployment?
No, no deployments.
Okay, that's good. That's always so concerning, like when you have family in the military, and it's although that is a large part of a reason I think a lot of men do enlist, and I guess more women now, but that's the reason, a large reason for the enlistment, and the people that are just the civilians, you're always like secretly hoping that they don't have to get deployed, because you just it's scary,
Well,
extremely scary.
there's certain deployments that are scary, and then there's a lot of them that are actually fun and delightful, you know.
You would say
Uh,
that. That's not true.
if you go to certain, I don't want to list, I don't want to be the person to list those deployments, but there's definitely some deployments where you're in situations where let's say you're building camp, you know,
Hmm.
and that, or it's huge different deployment than going to on a deployment that's already established. You're just maintaining, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's already established. Everything is already there. You're not doing everything from ground up.
I
So
got
yeah,
you.
yeah, going to that type of deployment to another deployment is two totally different worlds. It's like, okay, instead of going to a deployment in a tent, you going to a deployment, you're in the building, uh or possibly a 5-star hotel.
Oh, wow.
It, the woman isn't bad at all.
But I mean, I guess that has a lot to do with what branch, you enlist in also.
It branch your job,
Yeah, okay.
pick your MOS, your job. Uh,
Wow.
and that starts from uh, your research on basically before you accept. Sorry, each
That's okay.
you choose your job before you go in
Okay.
and your assignment, and then hopefully it doesn't get overbooked or anything, or you don't get booted out of it. And
Mm.
because everything that you do is to serve the purpose to serve. So just make sure you choose wisely and do your research before you go in. Ask as many questions as possible.
Sure. I guess this is like once you pass your exam or after the exam.
Yeah, it's after you pass your exam, your
Okay.
ASVAB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old ASVAB. So it's a good test. So, Trayshawn, what's gonna be your story today? What are you talking about?
Um, what I would like to talk about is adulthood, like the evolution of every 5 years. Let's say my 5 years as an adult. Um, let's say after high school.
Okay.
So say just leaving, starting from a reference point of when I was around 20. And I went to college. I went to Grambling University. That was the first college I went to. Um, a- at that point in time, I thought I had it all figured out. All I had to do was go to work and, find me a really good job. The ambition is different, as far as the goal is the same, but the ambition is different. And then,
Sure.
so versus when I became 25 and I had a good job, my ambition after getting into the good job is like, okay, now I got to make sure that this good job pays enough for the type of lifestyle that I want to live, or,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
bumping my head without certain advisement, you know, uh, hey, this type of job provides this type of lifestyle, or this type of, this career path provides this type of lifestyle. Then I wouldn't try to venture off as much, possibly into like my eighth trade. So, um, just when I was 20, I was just more open to learning where the direction I wanted to go, and then just choosing the direction of HVAC. I learned HVAC,
Okay.
became an HVAC technician, and I learned HVAC based off of my my major in college, which was mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So it wasn't far fetched, and it was like, hey, I got this trade under my belt, plus I'm going to college for mechanical engineering. So it was, and I learned more in depth that there's there's like a HVAC mechanical engineer, so that's like a specialist. So that's like, oh, okay, so I have the experience, plus I have college, and is I'm going to be a top prospector. But
Hmm.
by the time I got to 25, it was like, hey, yeah, it's time to start doing something a little different.
So what was it that you experienced at 25? Like what opened your eyes to maybe to reroute?
I had my first daughter,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and sitting there and speaking to a career counselor
Okay.
after being in college for three to 3.5 years.
Okay.
So because it's like a 5 year degree at most at most uh engineering schools.
Okay.
So when I reached that level, and it was time to put food on the table. It was like, hey, you can't just focus on school, because that's what it really takes to become an engineer, is having that having that time to be able to do the work because people don't see engineering students until they graduate. It's one of those trades that disappear like nurses. You don't see
Right.
them until only certain time, like maybe once or twice a year, at certain times of the year. So
Mm,
uh, it was definitely I wouldn't say a rude awakening, but more of awakening for me to understand that hey, you have responsibilities now.
sure, sure.
So when
So, I'm
uh,
sorry. So did you find that once you figured out what wasn't working and then you were able to it sounds like you were able to switch pretty quickly to something else. Did you find that it was dissatisfactory to you? Like you still had a passion for what you started going to school for?
yes, so
Okay.
I still had a passion for it. I was still in the career field,
Mhm.
in the engineering career field, but I was working as a technician and not on the engineering side,
Okay.
if that makes any sense. So
Mhm.
HVAC is like an umbrella trade where you have to learn a little bit of everything, electrical, plumbing, uh, you name it, any trade that's done, you have to know at least the basis of
Okay.
how to do how it makes the equipment work inside. I did commercial HVAC
Okay.
and I worked for I was inducted into the union for United Association, which is one of the top unions in the United States,
Oh.
and it was just located right here in the DFW.
Okay.
And I believe at the time it was like 32 other states. So I worked. I joined. I was hired by Siemens Building Technology, which is one of their top perspectives, one of their top clients for the union because they hadn't had any they hired me before I was inducted, and so they had no choice but to let me join the union. So so instead of the union saying, "Hey, you come on in," because I tested so high on the test, and I was like, out of their 5-year test, I tested to a 3-year out of their five-year program.
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh, is this enough?" They was like, "No, that's not enough. We're not impressed." I was like, "Okay, well, let me see. What else can I do?" I went I went to all the major I got accepted for an interview by majority of the major contractors that was with the union at the time. And I went on interviews, and that last interview I went to, the funniest part, I went in there a with like a tablet, a business tablet
Okay.
with their competitor's name on
Uh-oh.
it. I- it's like, so you came in here with this. I know exactly what that is. Have you had an interview with them? Yes, I have. I'm waiting on a response. They hired me on the spot.
Oh.
All the technicians, he looks seemed like he's pretty good. He got his head on the shoulders, got some college behind him. Let's see if he can turn some wrenches.
Oh my goodness. See, that's a pretty that's a good tactic, right? And I don't know if that was intentional. I can imagine it was, but that's a tactic that you only can imagine works in movies, you know? But you've gone in there and you've got their competitors brand in their face and like, "Ooh, we got to snag this guy pretty quickly." That's pretty
Well,
cool.
I wish it was a tactic. I think it was just a honest mistake, in my opinion. For me, I was so green.
Yeah, I got you.
But it was a really good business tablet. I could put all of my resumes in there, and I could hand everybody a resume at the table, you know. It was leather. It was the best tablet that I had. It was the best binder that I had. And so
Very professional. Okay, so you get the job with these guys, and then what happens here? And where are we on course with your 5 year
so
evolutions?
that was me at 25.
Okay.
And so I had moved here at 23. It took me a little bit to, well, I mean, as far as the 5 year revolution of maturity,
Okay.
my goals were still the same as far as, providing a good lifestyle for myself, being able to take care of the basic needs.
Mhm.
But I was coming to a realization that it was going to take me a lot longer uh, once I changed career paths
Okay.
to accomplish that.
Okay. Can we back up and find out where you transferred from? You said when you came here. So where were you before?
I was at LSU, Louisiana State University.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, That was the last college I went to before I moved here. That was my fourth college, actually. I
Okay.
finally made it to LSU.
Tigers.
At 21, I went into the military and acquired the HVAC certification. And throughout 21, going into 22, well, yeah, throughout 21, going to 22, I had to do a year of training. So I had hands-on experience. And during that time, I went to Sussler in Shreveport,
Okay.
Louisiana, where Southern University is a satellite campus. And I went there for a half semester to take some prerequisites while I was working in gaining experience in the HVAC trade. And then I transferred to Louisiana State University. And
But you got there. That's the important
well,
thing to remember.
to me, that was the main goal. So the goal for me that I learned when I was at Grambling University is that I wasn't enrolled in the engineering degree. I was enrolled in the engineering technology, which is not exactly the same degree, and it didn't hold the same weight as an engineering degree.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And you discovered that what through your guidance counselor, or how did you
Yeah,
come about that? Okay.
through, through the guidance counselor.
Okay.
So this was about a year in. It's like second semester.
Oh, wow. So that was a little bit of a setback.
Well, they're the same prerequisites for the first year. They kind of cross over
Okay.
as far as the math and the science is really the most difficult part. The prerequisites of engineering before you get into your electoral college.
Okay.
They require so many uh prerequisites that it almost doubles what it takes in most electoral colleges. So uh let's say if I was in listen art agriculture or I want to go to anywhere else, it might only take me a year or a year just to go to their electoral college, eh, just with the prerequisites of my first year or two alone.
Okay.
So I would only have like a year and a half if I just chose another degree,
But
versus
you
doing.
didn't. That's not what you were seeking. So that's good. If you're going to be paying to go to school, you have to make sure that you're in there for what you really want to be there for. And a lot of the times people just enroll in school because that's what they're taught or their parents want that for them. And it's like you go there and you're wasting somebody's money because you're unsure about what you want to do. And then you end up not graduating and you're in some sort of debt. And it is just like, I, I don't know, and I'm not to interrupt your own story, but I kind of feel like, and maybe you'll agree, that I feel like we as a country, we have to do a little bit better job at preparing, our students for higher education. And I think that starts, well, obviously, at home, but then I think also too, we should do a little bit better job in our schools as far as exposure. Like what is out there, what's available for me to get into. I might not want to be a doctor, I may have no interest in that, but what else is there that's available that's going to afford that lifestyle, if that's what's driving you. And then like, how do I go about getting there, right? And you start talking about taking entrance exams, like your SAT or the ACT, etc., and then applying for those colleges, universities. What about scholarship programs? Does every student that's going to whatever high school or middle school, are they aware that those are options? But I
Yeah,
think we do. Yeah, I think we do an extremely poor job at getting that sort of information out there. But
or
okay,
or
yeah.
even or even enrolling into a college if you didn't meet their standard
Mm-hmm.
by taking remedial courses or going to a junior college.
Right.
It's actually cheaper if you go and uh, get dual enrolled or get your credits at a junior college first, and then switch over um, if they have a dual enrollment program, which a lot of them do, to
Mm-hmm.
your electoral college
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's
because
definitely an option.
you're dual enrolled on both campuses, so you don't have to miss any fun and you don't have to overpay on these classes.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just goes back to that, to the what I was just mentioned before. It's like how many people are aware of that, and then like what are the steps that we could take to help to ensure that everybody gets a fair shake at a higher level of education if they should choose. Right? I'm not talking about people that are born into money or anything like that, because they'll be in school. Like it's just they don't have a choice, right? Because their parents are living through them every time, and that's a blanketed statement. Okay, it may not be completely true, for everyone, but we've seen it time and time again. And I really would like for it to be, for the public school system specifically, that if we want the kids to be better in this life, we have to do our parts too, as far as getting that information out there for them.
Yeah,
So.
they're here in Texas. I would say they have advanced more than a lot of other states
Hmm.
because they've actually brought trades into the school where they
Mm.
graduate as a high schooler, they're already in a trade. They're
Okay.
graduating and they already have experience in the trade.
Okay.
So
That's good,
instead of,
actually.
us just taking like home ec or wood class or, not saying those aren't trades, those are amazing trades,
Okay.
but they actually brought the opportunity for you to learn a trade while you're in high school, which is great.
Sure is.
Or dual enrolled into college courses. So when you do go to college, you you already or you could graduate early, one, and you can when you do go to switch over and go to college or graduate and proceed to college, that you're ahead. It won't take you as long to finish
Okay.
your degree or get into your electoral college because you already have some of the prerequisites available.
Okay. Well, see, I mean, that's it, and that you've got a better perspective about that, or a better experience, I guess, than what I just probably mentioned. So, there you go, guys. As Trayshawn has spoken, and for those of you who are in school and you want to pursue something beyond high school, then there are options out there. I guess the best way to go about finding that out would just be, what, go to well, I guess your teacher not so much, but maybe they have guidance counselors there at the high schools that can try to help to direct them. Okay, so we're back on the your 5 years, and you have enrolled at this point to several colleges. You have attended Grambling and LSU, and at this point, are you graduating, or are you in your career at this point?
I I left LSU at the third year of my degree because I wanted to move. I wanted to know what it felt like to be close to family.
Okay.
So I had some family members here. It was close enough, but not too close to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. Understood.
So I applied for the colleges, for the major colleges here, and I was accepted into all of them: UTA, UNT, uh, you name it. I applied to the top engineering colleges. So UTA is one of the top colleges in America for engineering or architecture. You go to an architecture college or agriculture college, which was based off of engineering. They were one of the top. So UTA is very big, has a huge program for engineering, and also UNT.
Okay.
They're known worldwide. People come here or from all over the world just to recruit from those two colleges. So once I got accepted into both of those, uh, I found out that I had to go to a training. I had to book training for the military. So,
Oh.
so I was in the military. I was guard and reserve.
Okay.
Not only did I switch colleges on this journey, I switched branches of the military.
Mm. Okay, so for those of us who may not know what guarded reserve is, do you care to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, the reserve is uh as far as the amount of time that they require you to serve. Uh, it's when you volunteer to serve in the military, but not full full active duty.
Okay. 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 So now you've switched branches, guarded reserve, and then where are we at this point?
I switched over to the Navy Reserve from the Air Force
Um,
Reserve to the Navy Reserve when I moved here.
okay.
Because when you're in the military, you have to go back to your original base unless someone else uh receive receives you into their unit. And at the time, there was no Air Force slots available uh near the DFW area for me to transfer over to. And the only recruiter that would work with me, and the Navy had slots that I can do a lateral transfer to.
Okay.
So I switched career fields also
Oh, okay.
for the second time. That's why I didn't deploy, because you have to complete a certain amount of training to be deployable.
Okay.
So once you complete that training, then you could be in a slot for a deployment. But before that, you can't deploy. Like, you're non-deployable until you get this training. And if you don't get it done within a certain amount of time, they just kick you out. You know?
Oh, okay. Like out of the military or out of that
Yeah,
program?
yeah. You
Oh,
you get you get kicked out of the military because you're you did you have to be active about your career. Your
okay.
education is huge in the military.
Okay.
As you move up, you have to have certain levels of education to qualify. And you can only hold certain slots. uh, certain rank for a certain amount of time.
Okay. Okay. Now, does that apply to active as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Geez. You have to be really ready to be a part of that community, huh?
Well,
Goodness.
when you have when there's other people around you that's striving for the same thing and encouraging you to 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 do your best, to be your best, that's quizzing you, that just took the test, that and that's actually in that role, and they want to see you progress and grow because you're
Okay.
taking the initiative and you're showing that this is what you want to do, then there's somebody going to be there to help you.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's some positivity about it.
It's, yeah, whatever you need to you want to do, you have the tools to be. There's somebody that's employed to be able to help you. So there's no reason to fail unless you give yourself a reason to fail. That
Mm,
makes any sense.
yeah, makes a ton of sense. Ton of sense. Okay, so you are in the Navy Reserve.
So I was in the Navy Reserve.
Okay, and you are at this point how old?
I got
Roughly.
I was inducted into the Navy Reserve within 30 days of the time that I was inducted into the United Association, uh, into the trade uh,
Okay.
trade union. So all that happened within 30 days of each other, which was amazing.
Wow. Jeez. Wow.
So I did that for 5 years. I was in the Navy. Well, I was in the Navy for 3 years before I was recruited by the Air Force National Guard.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that was the last branch that I was in.
Oh my goodness. Jeez.
Yeah, that was the last branch that I was in. I was already in the trade or had the experience working on the commercial side and previously already acquired the certification in the Air Force
Okay.
Reserve. So the Air Force National Guard, the trade school is the same. So
Mm.
when I
Okay.
was when they had a slot that was open that was available, I was recruited by I don't want to say a rank, but you know, someone pretty high up, and they just told the recruiter, "Hey, get him in the slot."
Mm.
It
Okay.
wasn't
So,
when
wow.
when someone so high up in the unit that runs the unit says, "Hey, this person already make sure this person qualifies for it. Check check but verify." I did have
Uh-huh.
to go through those checks. The recruiter looked through everything, combed it with a fine comb, and I was able to transfer, lateral transfer. So I went back. I was able to. I lost rank,
Okay.
switching over. I had to leave a rank in the Navy, but it was worth the lateral transfer because that's
Okay.
what I originally started with.
Okay. So are you? Is this something like this? Is kind of it seems like it's all happening pretty quickly for you, and I don't know that that was the path you kind of set out for yourself, but you're here, and is it panning out to be what you're looking for in your life, or are you still seeking something else?
I'm always seeking advancement, the opportunity to educate myself and to learn uh, how to just always accepting challenges
Okay.
educationally and personal development. Let's say that it's when I
Sure.
got the closer I got to 30, I see myself, actually walking that I've been. walking a pretty good path of enlightenment and, and personal development. I've been actually working on personal development the whole time by helping other people,
Okay.
using those core values were set the tone for me to have to and being around people that live by a certain standard in life, uh,
Sure.
having to keep, you know, your personal life together because in walk a straight line and stay out of trouble and do the right
Hmm.
things, it built a huge foundation for me to be able to understand that there's more to life than than the environment that I grew up in or was surrounded by or my family was surrounded by.
Okay. And so what if you care to share, like what did that look like for them? Because obviously there's a reason why you set out to achieve what you did. And usually, it's because we've seen something or experienced something. So what does that look like for you?
Could you ask me that one more time?
I can. I sure can. I said, so with what does that look like for you? You said that, with seeing how things were for some of your family members and like the environment you grew up in, the question is that what kind of helped you to set that path for yourself, like to know that you want to do something different?
Yes. What it did was it allowed me to see a different lifestyle that and understand how to respect other people's cultures. Being able to I don't have to live I don't have to just be one way. I don't have
Okay.
to just eat one type of food. I could try all the food I want.
True.
I could try
Very true.
different cultures of food or music, you know.
Hmm. So did you feel like that you could only, like, is that the, like, did your family teach that, hey, we're only going to live this way and I don't want you to learn about any other culture? I mean, because it's the reason why you said that, I guess.
No, no, but I seen that if you hang around the same group of people, you're more likely to just think in that one box.
Mm, I got you.
So you might be more reluctant to be closed off from the possibility of this of exploring.
Okay. Okay.
By this time, we're talking about 28 going to 29-ish,
Okay.
where I'm in or I'd have switched over to the Air Force National Guard, switched over to the National Guard, and by that time I moved to city wise,
Mm-hmm.
kind of bouncing around almost 30 cities.
Wow. 30 cities and you're barely 30 at this point.
Yeah. So,
What?
so, because you think about you get you in Louisiana, I already had moved to five, I want to say, roughly.
This is as a child?
No, this is
As an adult?
as
Oh
an
my
adult after
goodness.
high school,
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. I guess based on your different schools.
up to 23, and then when I moved here, it took me a while to find stability
Mm-hmm.
because this wasn't something that I had exactly planned out. I have family here, so
Mm-hmm.
for the first year and a half, it was whatever I could pay family members or friends to bounce around, and that's not stability, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So living in you know couch to couch, even though I'm working and not saving up. I couldn't save up enough money because I'm trying to help this household, or then I'm trying to help that household. and you're trying to
Mm.
date, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a challenge. Certainly a challenge.
And you're
So
working
so
two
how
different jobs.
oh, I got you. I got you. So how were you able to see your way out of that situation or those situations?
It not knowing what I wanted to do provided and trying so many different, being in so many different scenarios provided
Mhm.
structure for what I wanted, really wanted, the type of structure I really wanted. So
Mm.
I guess running into the wall so many times, failing so many times, it 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 helped point me in the direction of how not to fail.
Okay. Wow. Jeez. So, okay, so do you feel like you've well, I don't. That's a hard question because I don't feel like any of us are past the point of failure, really, and it doesn't matter like how much you've achieved throughout this life. But do you find that you're still like in that mind frame? Like, do you feel like you've created success, or do you feel like you're failing like to your standards?
I feel like, well, as far as my understanding of life, it's not a straight path. It's a
Sure.
journey.
Right.
Uh, I did hit that. It's not quite a where you get to a point in life where you hit that 30 mark and you're like, hey, my life don't look like what I drew in high school on this paper. I hit there, but I got pretty close.
Yeah. I
Everything
can
except for the Lamborghinis in the, you know, in the car and the have too.
imagine. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
But I have to ask, so what was it what was the reason why you decided to I guess coin this the 5 year revolution? Like what are your thoughts behind that?
my my thoughts was behind that was every I noticed when I look back on my life that every 5 years there's a different revelation of maturity. I I can see just through the type of risk that I took. The type of risk when I took when I moved here and I thought that I was gonna be staying in one place, then end up in a moving out of a situation where I had everything my own and getting paid to go to school. I had acquired and worked hard and finally was earning income by going to school, going to college,
Hmm.
then moving here and just completely starting over from ground up and not having my own place and bouncing around and going through that struggle. It actually created ability for me to understand how to continue to live life, even when things aren't going well.
Hmm.
And I guess I'm trying to say that the maturity level each 5 years was based off of me making more structured decisions, and I could see that up to now. Like today, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm moving to Texas for the new year," and that's what I did when I was
Oh
21. And I was here 2 days
goodness.
before the new year. That's how I made it to Texas. I sold everything and I moved it. I moved to Texas. Anything that couldn't fit in the Mustang had to go.
Jeez. Wow, that is a bold that's a bold decision. I mean, that's something that understand that you have family here, but not a laid enough plan like as to what
Yeah, and
you
this
would
was
do
this.
once you got here.
Yeah, this was these distant family members I hadn't seen since I was like a teenager, early
Oh my
teens. Uh,
goodness.
like I just do everything in the. I sold everything, and put everything in back of somebody U-Haul. Got a couple,
Wow.
paid $1,000 and moved here. By the time I made it here, I had 600, and I was sleeping on somebody's couch a week later. So I was like,
Jeez.
oh, this money not coming in no more. And so
Right.
I went to work. I got 2 jobs. I thought that would be enough. I was like, wait, so I was actually making good money, but I wasn't
Um,
doing anything for it. Well, when I was just reading books and taking tests in class.
right. Right. Do you have any regret about having left Louisiana to move here?
I miss the culture. I don't
Mhm.
I don't have any regrets when it comes in a form of regrets, but I do have things that I do miss.
Okay.
I don't believe in uh
Regrets.
regrets
Hmm.
because everything is a learning lesson. It's like a test.
Yeah, that's true. So this culture, what can you expound on that just a little bit?
I'm still learning today. I'm still learning what I like,
Okay.
and I've ventured off and been able to learn that, hey, I don't have to go to the club. It got me out of going to clubs since, I don't have anything to say about clubs, or I will go, but let me see what else is out there.
Hmm.
Live music, bands, different festivals, beer what beer crawls,
Oh,
like look at all these
okay.
different restaurants. Go to it's trying Vietnamese food,
Mhm. Mhm. So is that what you're finding more of here as opposed to being in Louisiana? I mean,
Uh,
well, I guess the,
eh,
the culture is different though there, anyways. But
well, the BMW to to me,
hmm.
what I liked about it is that I experienced living in Columbus, Ohio for maybe half a year, 6 months,
Okay.
7 months, when I was younger. And what I liked about Columbus, Ohio was that it was diverse.
Mhm.
And not just diverse with food, but diverse with different cultures, like a melting pot.
Okay.
So me being from the Midwest originally, from Flint, Michigan, as a kid, that what it
Mm.
reminds me of. So this is the closest place I could move without snow. So it's like DMW is a huge melting pot, you know.
It it is. Yes. That's
Uh,
interesting. Well, because Ohio's not too far from Michigan, so I could see why that would remind you a lot of each state.
yeah, everybody's here. Everybody's moving here,
Everybody is.
except my family.
So do they have any plans on leaving Louisiana, or wait, Louisiana and Arkansas, or just are you referring to Louisiana specifically?
uh, to Arkansas. They
Okay.
moved after high school. They moved to Arkansas.
Okay. Arkansas is a very beautiful state.
It's very beautiful. It'd be like
Mhm.
hunting
Yeah.
and fishing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the what the natural state.
It's very natural.
Yeah, but is that the slogan for there? The natural, what is it? It's natural state, like, I can't recall. Anyways, and you don't know it obviously, but because
If I don't know it, I don't say anything.
well, what? Oh, I got you. I got you. That's that's pretty wise. That's pretty wise. Well, because Texas is the Lone Star State,
Yeah.
right? So there's some state that's like the Show Me State. Georgia is what is it, peach?
Yeah.
But what do they call it? It's not they don't call it the peach. I guess they do call it the peach state. And then Florida's the Sunshine State. Anyhow, okay, so I'll look into that a little bit later on. But
So,
so your family, they won't move here to Texas, which, you're not very far.
yeah, they're not very far. I can always visit and go back home when I'm ready to.
Do you visit?
I try to when I can.
Okay.
One thing I've learned about being here is
Mhm.
that you have to have when you're living this type of lifestyle
Mhm.
where you're I wouldn't say I'm alone. I do have family here, but when you don't have immediate family here that you see on a regular basis,
Mhm.
uh, it requires you to have a certain level of funds and have certain level of things, priorities taken care of before you can do that vacation or
Yeah.
go here or go there because it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
So that overhead is a lot different than living somewhere where it's
Like
not,
Arkansas.
yeah, you don't have to work as much, you
Yeah,
know.
that's true. I guess welcome to adulthood, huh?
You know what? Yeah, that's what I guess moving here allowed me to see adulthood. That's where
Yeah.
on a different level.
I sure did. I sure did. Well, Trayshawn, I hope that you were able to tell your entire story about your 5 year revelation or revolution.
Yeah, revelation of
5 years.
maturity.
Okay, your 5 year revelation. So such a very interesting term, or phrasing, but it's yours, and maybe you could do like a little bit of like a self help book on that and how you were able to achieve it. But before we wrap things up, is there any advice you'd like to give to the audience, maybe about how you felt you were able to navigate the path that you set for yourself?
Uh,
You need me to repeat that question?
no, make the best decision for whatever the situation, not just for now, but for the long term.
Okay.
Whatever decision you make sure that that decision is something that you can live with. You know, be flexible and uh, show yourself grace.
Ooh.
Grace was something that I had to learn on this
Yeah.
journey of being so ambitious. You know, yes, I'm accomplishing things, but I promise you, I had a lot. The no's don't count when you receive one yes. None
Mm.
of those, none of them, not
Wow.
not one counted after receiving a yes.
Okay.
So uh, nobody knows about the failures. There's because it's not a failure. You just need one yes. Just need one
Yeah.
person to believe in you, and as long as you believe in yourself, you might be that one person. So
Gosh. That's very well said, sir. And you're right. You do have to believe in yourself. And if you don't, then it's kind of like you're just out there setting yourself up for major failure. So I definitely agree with that. And hopefully you get many more yeses to come for you, and hopefully you can continue to combat those no's if you're getting any of those thrown at you. But um, I really appreciate you coming on the show, Trayshawn. I know it was a little bit of a we had some we had a journey just getting here. I'll say that. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and to tell your story. And if there isn't anything else that you'd like to add, we're gonna wrap it up.
yeah, go hard on life, or life trying to go hard on you. That's it.
Yeah, that's that is so awesome. Hey guys, this has been the Blind Impact. Today's guest is Trayshawn. Trayshawn was able to give us a really, really enlightening story about life and the revelations of. So if you guys have a story that you'd like to share, please just email me at theblindimpact at gmail.com, or you're more than welcome to reach out to me. The links are in the show notes, and we will see and talk to you soon. And remember, it's not always tragic. Thank you, Trayshawn.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye bye. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of The Blind Impact. If you like the show, please rate, subscribe, review, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. If you have a story you'd like to tell, please email me at theblindImpact@gmail.com. Or if you have a story you'd like to have read here by me, please include those details in the email or the voice message. Thank y'all, and remember, it's not always tragic.